Many questions have been raised over the issue of Cullighan's suspension without pay and finally terminated. This was happened after he hosted a talkback show with Honorable Governor Bird on issues affecting our country. Many did not understand the actual reason why he was terminated until when he did his first episode on his official YouTube with heading, Hospital Trouble. Let us watch what actually happened when leading to his termination.
The Honorable Governor for East Civic Province, Alan Bird, joins me today. Governor, good morning and thank you so much for your time.
Look, thank you, Cullighan, and I couldn't help smiling there. Hospital trouble. I mean, I guess we got to get to the bottom of it. So I think there's a lot of people out there that are wondering, like, what's happened to you, and where do we go with the next stage of Cullighan Tanda. So I'm pretty excited to be your first guest on Conversations with Cullighan.
Well, who better to start the conversation with than yourself? And the last time we met was I think the last time we had a proper conversation was in the studio on the 17th of, what was it, March or May this year? Well, 17th of May. Pardon me. Yeah, April, sorry. On the 17th of April, that was leading up to the long weekend. And here's the thing that many people want to, people have been kind of asking me to come out and talk about the experience, but I've kind of maintained my silence through all of it, just trying to see how the best way forward from this experience has been. And let me just thank everyone who's been supporting me through this particular journey that I've gone through since the time. But, just rewinding back to the facts, on 17th, was when I conducted the interview when I was hosting the talkback show on FM 100. Now, we had the conversation. I invited you in that week. We were supposed to do it on Monday, but we couldn't do it because of the VONC that was happening on Tuesday.
Yes.
And then fast forward to the Thursday that week, we confirmed in the evening that you were going to be available. And the same night, I contacted my producers and let them know via WhatsApp that you were coming in the next day. Now, while you came in that morning, my CEO at that time, Mr. Bill Bartobo, he met us at the car park at the bottom.
Yes.
And took us up to the boardroom.
That little conference room.
The little conference room.
Yeah.
So he saw you at that time. We had a discussion, talked about, what happened. And specifically our discussion at the time was basically on why the VONC was unsuccessful. And secondly, the other part I was trying to ask you about was like, if the coalition, the opposition had actually been successful with the VONC, like what were the alternative policies? That was the point of discussion that we were going to have. Now, the thing is that when I invited you in, I had already notified my producer in the evening. And time to say, kind of ad hoc something. Talkback is something that's always on the go in this case. So the reason that I was terminated, they said I hadn't given prior notice to my CEO for that matter. It started off with a 3-week suspension, and then of course when I did come back after 3 weeks without pay, mind you, I got terminated. Now, we were talking to him, my CEO, Mr. Wartovo, prior to us going on air. And at any time, if he had felt uncomfortable about it, like he knew it about 30 minutes before we even went on, I think 8:30 something, right up till the news played, 10 past 9, and then 9:15, we were already inside. He could have said no at any time, and I just wanted to ask you, did he ever give any indication that it was uncomfortable from your experience?
No, I mean, he was happy. We were laughing, we were cracking jokes, and that wasn't the first time. I'd been on previous shows where you invited me and I'd come along and he would actually come and meet me. In fact, I don't know if it's normal, but every time I've been there for a show on Talkback, I've always met with the CEO if he was there. And I remember even before, there was a lady in charge, and I forget her name, really nice lady.
Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline.
Caroline.
So I would meet her as well. So I figured that was the normal, usual process of doing things in terms of those interviews. So I didn't see anything unusual or anything that would indicate that he was unhappy, and so from my perspective, I assumed everything was okay. And also, like, every time I've been on that particular show, even with Roger Haofa back in the day, and then Douglas, Dimagi, and then yourself, we've always had very open conversations. So that particular show was no different to any of the others we'd had before. And yeah, so I was very surprised, to be honest.
Well, we went and did the show, got off the show, and then it was the long weekend. It started on Thursday was the last day of the week that time. It was the Easter weekend. I go for the long weekend. I come back on Tuesday because Monday was the Easter Monday, and Tuesday I come back. I'm on the show and I get called into his office. This is just, I think, 11:15 around that time. He calls me in and he gets up and he says, they're not happy with your interview last week. I said, who? And he said, this is a message from the top. And I said, who? Telecom? KCHL? Who? Who's not happy with us? Because FM 100 we report to Kumul Telecom, or should I say, well, Telecom, and Telecom obviously is part of KCHL. So I asked, who's happy? And he said, the guys at the top. Now, not at one time did he specify who exactly it was. Even to this day, like, I honestly have no idea who those people were at the top or who the top was. So he said, it's either going to be you or me. One of us is going to walk. And I told him outright there, and I said, Chief, this is censorship. You can't be doing that to a program like ours. And, I said, well, we'll just have to wait and see. So by the afternoon, and the sad thing was that I had my kids there with me at that time. They'd come to spend a long weekend with me, and they were going back to go stay with their mom. So he calls me in around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock something, and he says, I'm really sorry, but we've got to suspend you. I've been given the marching orders to suspend you. So I got suspended for 3 weeks without pay, saying that failure to notify of the guests coming in. And I was like, can you specify which particular policy I breached? Or in my appeal, you haven't specified what policy I breached, what particular clause. None of that. No company policy, nothing. So I took it on the chin, stayed for about 3 weeks at home. And during that time, I think on the last week, no one knew about it. And then, the funny thing was that on my last week, I think on the second last week, I think of my suspension, we had the media awards night. And so ironic that best radio program of the year was awarded to my show, the Talkback Show.
Well, awarded to you, because that's your show. You're the one that runs it.
And I wasn't even invited to go and sit at the table or to actually participate in the show. So I was like in absentee, and they went and accepted on my behalf. And I'm just, well, it's a collective thing. Myself, my producers, we've all gone through that. But it just showed a stark irony to the situation right there. I got suspended for doing an interview on what the show's all about, having open, frank conversations with facts.
Yep.
So that kind of, I think, sparked everything, and people started asking questions. And then at the time, when that happened, immediately, I think I'd have to thank Neville Troy and Scott White and the team as well, who've been really helpful, supporting me through the time, giving me advice on what to do, and other stuff like that. So at that time, when I did give my appeal, and when it became public knowledge that I'd been suspended, Telecom gets up and does a so-called independent investigation. Now, I don't know, the audit team actually did that, so I don't know if you can call it independent if it's coming from employees from Telecom calling me in. Okay, that week, prior to the interview that I went and sat with, I think on Wednesday, that Saturday, I think you posted and you said you're gonna see me. You posted, I said, I'm gonna meet with Cullighan. So I came across, we met, had coffee, and you were asking me, what's the situation? And when I went there, one of the questions they asked me and we had a coffee, we had a chat, that I met with you, and I explained what my situation was. And then when I came for the meeting, they asked me, did you meet with Governor Bird? And I was like, yeah, I met him on the weekend. That was part of the interview questions. Now, they went and even when they gave my termination, when I resumed work after my 3-week suspension, I came back to resume work. I think that was on, let me just check my dates. I resumed work, I think, I resumed on the 14th, but my termination date letter was dated the 12th. So 2 days already, they already had my termination notice ready. So I came in 2 days after, on the date, like after 3 weeks had lapsed, and got terminated right there and then. And they just said, I breached my conditions of my suspension. That was one of the grounds they gave, and failure to, the same grounds. They said, we've concluded. It was a very ambiguous termination letter. They said, findings of the investigation have concluded that, they said the findings were conclusive, and you also breached your conditions of your suspension. Now, I'm assuming that was probably because of my appeal letter that was leaked online, and I don't know who leaked that letter online. I didn't even give that letter out to anyone. It was just copies that I sent back to my HR guys, and a copy that I sent to the guys at Media Council to tell them that this is my situation. How this letter come out, I have no idea how it came out. It wasn't intentional on my part. I was actually quite shocked to see the letter actually out in this case. So, again, this was very ambiguous terms, didn't quite specify anything. Now, lo and behold, a week later, they go and they take out this whole paid advertisement saying that I breached this, I secretly met with you. And I was like, I'm not a secret.
There's no secret meeting. Because, the entire public at the time was like, hey, Governor, you going to talk to them, Cullighan, and look, find out what, and the whole public was behind you. So, in responding to the public, we had a public meeting. There's nothing secret about it.
And you even announced on your Facebook, I'm meeting with this guy.
So, the whole country knew we were meeting. Except the board of telecom, they were the only ones that didn't know, and so they decided to call that a secret meeting.
They called it a secret meeting. So when I saw they were saying, okay, he breached this, he breached that, I was like, the paid advertisement was actually a bit more detailed than my termination and my suspension, which was so ambiguous and very vague. Mm-hmm. And that's what actually led to my suspension termination. And I'll tell you one thing. During the course of my appeal against my suspension, my appeal against my termination, they've never responded to any one of those. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been just at home contemplating what to do or whatnot. I mean, the legal actions, there's big implications in terms of seeking legal redress. But I've kind of weighed things out, and I've decided not to pursue any legal redress or any legal action in this case, because I've realized that if I do take it before the court, then I can talk about the issue like what we're having this conversation about now. So milusim ronglon na stop. I thank them for the opportunity that they've given me to actually find a footing in this industry, and allowing me to meet the likes of yourself and other esteemed Papua New Guineans in the career that I've chosen. But in this case, this is just, I just thought we'd clear the air on just the first part about it. So,
yes, you heard it right. It's a big shame for the big guys who are in power. Maybe government to come to law to suspend a hard-working public servant. Thanks Cullighan for putting everything out for public consumption. Please subscribe to Cullighan's official YouTube channel on the link below.